This crowd, as we've come to expect in recent years, as loud as any in the NFL, and they get even louder when their Seahawks are introduced. We're ready for football as the Seahawks get set to do battle with the Minnesota Vikings. Dan Bailey now to put the ball in the air, and off we go from Seattle. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 9, Wilson steps away to his left.
You know, I don't think this is the last time we'll see that in this game. This guy has mobility, and they want to use his legs in the game plan. So there will be designed runs as well as his scrambles.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. From the shotgun, Wilson. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 10 yards and a Seattle first down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time. Really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. To throw again, Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. There for the sack, Everson Griffin. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
3rd and long. It's Wilson. And he's going to go down again. Everson Griffin able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On the ground, it's Cook. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. And trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
On 3rd down, Cousins. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Brad McDougal. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. Johnson, the intended target. Well, not a good omen there. His first throw of the afternoon, intercepted.
And I know what the fans are thinking right now. I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school is he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. We're scoreless after one.
Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
On third down, Carson. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. He needed a yard. That's what he got, and it's going to earn him a new set of downs. Wilson, after the play fake to Carson, forced out to his left. He's going to take off with it. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
On second down now, it's Carson. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size and these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. They run the counter. Carson. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. On second down, it's Carson. Now Carson fumbles the football, and the Vikings pick up the football. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Cousins now after the fumble recovery. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. Sacked there by Jadeveon Clowney. 2 minutes on the clock in what's been a scoreless first half. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do. Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. And he'll be taken down for a loss back at the 3. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And he's able to get it out of there. Returnable for Lockett. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field.
Gotta go, in and out. Let's go. 26.
They'll run on first down. Carson, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Go.
Out of the gun, here's Wilson. He lets it fly from... This is caught inside the 15. That's a gain of 31 with right around 1 minute to go in the quarter. Not really any offense for them to speak of here in this first half. Maybe that's what they needed, that big play.
Yeah, it seems that maybe everything changes right there. They've been a little slow out of the gate. We've seen that. But that one big play, that could spark a big burst right here.
He was brought down by Eric Wilson.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. Here's Carson. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. A 3-yard loss, 4th down now.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. Myers' kick is good. And we have action on the scoreboard just before halftime. It's 3-0. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these 2 teams as we come back for this second half. These offenses seemingly still back at the hotel for the first half. 3-0 our score as the second half gets underway. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the third quarter. All they have so far, the field goal. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Hey, I'm coming. Right there, 54.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. A first down for Minnesota. Cousins finding Thielen. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Draw play, Cousins to Cook. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Unfortunately for you, you've been around me for a little while now, so you know me as well as anyone and how I look at a game. I don't ever advocate abandoning anything, but in this case, I'm going against my own thought process. You got to change it up. You got to start throwing it around a little bit, finding ways to try and move the ball because keeping it on the ground just isn't working for them.
Yeah, maybe get him the ball out of the passing game, a swing pass outside or something, just something to vary it up. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Cousins gives way to Cook. Able to slither by. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. All day, baby. All day. Right there. 54. Right there.
On 2nd and 15 now. Cousins. This one taken in by Olabisi Johnson. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 29-yard line.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Yeah, and he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down, 2nd and right at a yard. That was the 9th play of the drive, and they pick up 9 yards with it. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point, just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They run, Cook, and this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. A 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards. They come out here in the eye. The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Again, it's Cook. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Able to punch it in on 3rd down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up, never even got to it.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Here's a run on 1st down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. They go play action with Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The sack by big number 98, Linval Joseph. Wilson and the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. Now it's Wilson. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
The Vikings get their 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is, he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 2nd and 12, Cousins. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. And quickly we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now Cook, he's got it off the draw. And the play goes nowhere, losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Second and long, but you got to figure this almost certainly another run. Throwing here, Cousins. Setting up the screen for Cook. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Now a run with Cook. Give him 9 on the carry, but it's not enough, and it'll be 4th down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought the punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away. Fighting through, and he's got space. Tyler Lockett. And he's going to take it all the way into the end zone. What a return, and they've taken the lead.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
A score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you got to
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here.
Gun. 54's mark. 54's mark. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
He'll look to throw. going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down. Back-to-back big plays defensively. First the sack. Now they force the incompletion on third and long. Things looking pretty good for them.
And this is where they have to be careful because they've got the momentum going their way. They will be really amped up to get to the quarterback. Look out. Draw, screen, something that can be used against them.
Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Back to throw. And he's able to find Diggs. And a timeout coming in. This will be their final one with 10 seconds remaining.
First down, Vikings.
Hey, go hard! What are you? 54. You're trapped.
Back to throw. And he can't hang on to it. That would have sealed it. Instead, second down.
Incomplete. It leads to second and 10.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a second and 10.
Check. Right there.
They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that is going to be incomplete. Boy, they got the tip they were looking for but couldn't secure it. And this one's over. Well, Charles, a pretty exhilarating finish to the end of this ball game. At the end, the Hail Mary prayers, though, they went unanswered. Could have won it, but couldn't get it done.
Almost fell schoolyard or playground, didn't it? You remember when you called that play? Everybody just go long and try and find someone open. They gave it a shot, but unable to successfully complete it.